Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the Primetime Lovers Collection available right now from Moonshine Manny. Moonshine Manny is being produced by Phoebe Moon here on YouTube. I'll go ahead and link her channel and storefront down below. This collection was sent to me for review, and it's based on some of Phoebe's favorite television couples in honor of Valentine's, but these polishes will definitely work year-round. So I'll go ahead and get into the swatches. So first up is Wildcard Wanda, and this is inspired by Temperance from Bones, which I'm not familiar with, but I will go ahead and say this is my top pick polish. It's described as a Rudy Peach linear holographic that's complemented with sparkling gold shimmer. Here is a quick brush shot, and I'll show you how Wildcard Wanda swatched on my natural nail. This is a very light holographic, but it does have a really strong linear effect. That gold shimmer also translates really well to the nail. At one coat, this is pretty sheer, but it went on nice and evenly. So I'll go ahead and show you what a second coat looks like. I am going to go in for a nice thick second coat here, and this brings it right to the edge of being opaque. I think this is one of those polishes that really toes the line between being a 2 and 3 coater. I think it's really going to come down to personal preference as well as application techniques. I figured I would just go ahead and show you what a third coat looks like. It just barely makes a difference at all here. It's really hard to tell. I do think the third coat is worth it, but everyone's experience is going to be a little bit different. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. This one does dry down pretty glossy, but just a tiny bit matte. A good top coat will help smooth it out and bring out all of that shimmer. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. The companion polish to Wildcard Wanda is Big River Buck, and this is inspired by Sealy Booth, again from Bones. This is described as a rich chocolate cream with fuchsia and mauve shimmers. So this is a very warm, very delicious looking chocolate color. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Big River Buck swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. This polish is a little bit on the thicker side, but the coverage is just amazing. I feel like if you did a really slow, really careful coat, you may be able to get away with one coat here. I did have a few low spots, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what a second coat looks like. I'm just going to do a nice thin second coat here, and this does for sure bring this one completely opaque. If you love chocolates, this is an amazing one. I love all the additional flakies in there. It really warms it up and makes it a great complement to my skin tone. I do have a lot of red undertones, and this complements that perfectly. So here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. This one does dry down matte, so if you're not into that, you will want a nice glossy top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is She's Not Rachel, and this is inspired by Rachel Green from Friends. It's described as a soft sea green cream base with coordinating sea green shimmer. So there are a little bit of larger flakes in there. I had some settling of the shimmer in my bottle, but it didn't affect application at all. I just shook it up right before application. So I'll go ahead and show you how She's Not Rachel swatched on my natural nail. This one does go on nice and smooth. It was a little bit sheer though, and maybe a little bit streaky, so this is one that you're going to have to build up a bit. So that's one coat. I'll let that dry and then come back in for the second coat. So here is the second coat. I'm going to go in for a nice thick second coat here. The flakes lay beautifully in this polish. This is another one that toes the line, I think, between 2 and 3. It's going to be personal preference. I did stop at 2 coats today, so here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. The flakes do make just a tiny bit of texture here, but a good top coat will help smooth that out. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat, so this is another stunner. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. The companion polish for She's Not Rachel is the Divorce Force, and this is inspired by Ross. It's described as a black jelly base with a ton of sea green shimmer. So this does have really, really tiny micro flakes in there. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how the Divorce Force swatched on my natural nail. Since this does have that black jelly base, this is another that you're going to have to build up a little bit. One coat does go on nice and smooth, and you get a ton of those flakes, but it's not anywhere near opaque, so I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. So here is the second coat. With these black jelly bases, I do like to go in for nice thick coats. I had no issues with pooling at all with this one. So 2 coats is right to the edge of being opaque, so I'll let this dry and go ahead and show you what a third coat looks like. So here is my third and final coat. And this does for sure bring this one completely opaque. I love the deep vampy finish on this. I think it's going to be beautiful all year, especially like for mermaid manis and such. Super pretty. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in that direct sunlight. Next up is Bob the Restaurateur, and this is one of the ones I was most excited about. This is inspired by Bob from Bob's Burgers. It's described as a deep, dusty cornflower blue with a blue shimmer running throughout. This is how I love a cream. From a distance, this is going to look like a very deep robin's egg teal cream, but up close, you're going to see all of that shimmer. So I'll show you one coat. This polish goes on super easy, very smooth, very opaque. It did self-level really well too. I was worried about staining. I do swatch with my base coat always, and I didn't have any staining, but this is a very pigmented polish. I'll let this dry and go ahead and show you what a second coat looks like. I'm just going to go in for a nice thin second coat, and this does bring this one completely opaque. This is such a gorgeous polish, and I think it's my second top pick. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. This one does dry down fairly glossy. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So lastly today I do have the Bob's Burgers companion polish. This is inspired by Linda Belcher. It is an Agatha Christie, and it's described as a bright cornflower corelli base packed with gold and blue shimmers and iridescent hex glitters that shift from red to gold to green. Y'all know I love those iridescent glitters. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Agatha Christie swatched on my natural nail. This does have a nice corelli base that's kind of leaning a little bit jelly. This polish is jam-packed with flakies. I didn't get a ton of those iridescent hexes, but they are kind of sprinkled throughout. One coat is just shy of being opaque, so I'll go ahead and show you what a second coat looks like. This second coat does build this base up beautifully, adds a lot of depth. I do think I'm going to go ahead and show you what a third coat looks like. I had just barely a flash of nail line under some lightings. I do feel like this third coat is worth it. You get more flakes, more glitters, and that's always a good thing in my book. So this third coat does bring this one for sure completely opaque, and I love the finish on this. And this is another one of my top picks. I know, like, I have half the collection there, but here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. This is another one you'll want a nice glossy top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So that wraps up today's swatch and review of the Primetime Lovers collection. These are available right now, and they'll retail for $11 a piece. If you'd like to see more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.